Ford Pinto fuel tank fires, recalls, and litigation. First part, the Ford Pinto. In 1970, the Ford Motor Company created the Ford Pinto, a subcompact car that became infamous for bursting into flames after ruptured gas tanks from minor collisions. The Pinto was aimed to compete against the imported European and Asian market by being a cheap, lightweight car. Ford had to rush to get this car into production and the market, so they cut corners. The Pinto production development from conception to delivery was completed in 25 months when the automotive industry was 43. The Rush project marked the first instance in which a corporation faced criminal charges due to a faulty product, and also the initial case where a corporation was charged with homicide. Observe the Indiana versus Ford Motor Company case. Ford Pinto development. The Pinto's design was a product of miscommunication and ignorant decision making during its development period. 18 months into the Pinto's development, the NHTSA proposed expanding the standard to cover rear end collisions. Ford supported this standard. The month the Pinto went into production, the NHTSA changed the proposal to a more stringent standard. Ford objected this. Manufacturers were given months to keep up with the standard, of which was uncertain to remain or be more stringent again. Ford placed its fuel tank in a vulnerable position, which was common practice at the time, hoping that the guidelines would remain the same. They did not. The Pinto went into testing in regards with crash testing, and its fuel system integrity was overlooked by Ford's testing. In 1973, field reports regarding the Pinto being engulfed in fire were brought in for evaluation, but internal investigations found no issue. But rival company AMC not only repeated these tests on the Ford Pinto, but also tested its fuel system after the deadly fires from collisions.
Part 2, the ethics.
During the Pinto's development, Ford placed its fuel tank in a vulnerable position, which was common practice at the time. Internal company documents show that Ford secretly crash tested the Pinto more than 40 times, and its fuel tank had ruptured every time Ford engineers considered numerous solutions to the fuel tank problem, including reinforcing the fuel tank at a cost of $5.25 to $8 per vehicle, and placing a cushion-like device between the fuel tank and bumper at a cost of $1 per vehicle. None of these protective devices was used. Knowing that the fuel systems were placed in a hazardous location, Ford still continued to sell this car on the market. That the Pinto was not to weigh an ounce over 2,000 pounds and not to cost a cent over 2,000. These goals led to unethical decisions being made for the sake of the company's gain. Ford's cost-benefit analysis showed it was cheaper to endure lawsuits and settlements than to remedy the Pinto design. Ford knew about the risks they were handing to their customers, yet it paid millions to settle damage suits out of court and spend millions more lobbying against safety standards.
Part 3, case study, Lee Iocca. Lee Iocca was Ford's executive vice president during the development of the Pinto. It was his idea of competing against the foreign market that brought the Pinto to life. Being executive vice president, it was Iocca's responsibility to make sure all of Ford's projects were being completed in a legal and ethical manner. He oversaw the design and production of many cars to ensure regulations were being followed. Iocca stated that the goal of the Pinto was to be less than $2,000 and under £2,000. This led to Iocca sacrificing the safety of the car to ensure Ford was making profits and to make a name for himself. This assumption was further proven when an engineer was interviewed about the development of the car. When asked, did anyone go to Iocca and tell him the tank was unsafe? The engineer said, hell no. That person would have been fired. Safety wasn't a popular subject around Ford in those days. With Lee, it was taboo. Iocca used to say, safety doesn't sell. Ford needed to get this car onto the market, and they were left with a decision to prioritize safety or to prioritize profits. Generating alternative options. There are four options Iocca could have chosen when faced with this challenge. Option 1, which is continue with the Pinto project and ignore safety concerns. Option 2, add additional safety measures to the vehicle and surpass the $2,000 budget. Option 3, remodel the entire car and place the fuel tank in a safer position. Or Option 4, upgrade the fuel tank, avoiding to redesign every car. Analyze alternative options. To make the right ethical decision, we must analyze each option in regards to utilitarianism. Option 1 is ruled out because neither majority benefits from the decision. Iocca reaches the goal he made for the car, but cost the Ford company millions of dollars in court cases and tarnished their reputation. The consumer gains nothing, as they are still blind from the fact that the car they purchase has a higher risk to kill them than other cars. Option 2 is a valid solution as per utilitarianism. Although Ford will lose profits on the car, everyone greatly benefits from this option. People's lives are no longer in danger, and Ford's reputation is not tarnished. Of course, Ford will miss their goal of keeping the car under $2,000, but they are saving lives and future conflicts. Option 3. According to utilitarianism, this option is satisfactory, but does not support the majority. Ford remodels their car, which saves the lives of the consumer, but the car won't be made in time to compete for the desired goal. All in all, with this choice, the car wouldn't have been released in time, thus there wouldn't be any demand to buy the car. Option 4. Similar to Option 2, instead of adding new parts into the car, the fuel tank is replaced with an upgraded version. Yet again, supported by utilitarianism. Decide on the best option. Overall, Option 2 provides Iocca with an approach where nearly all stakeholders benefit. For just investing a couple of dollars into each car, life-saving changes will be made. Additionally, Pinto consumers are no longer misled or endangered by their purchase. Thus, Ford is now following its duty to be transparent with the public. These changes will save many lives and retain Ford's reputation and avoid multiple lawsuits. Although Iocca does miss his sub $2,000 goal, he is still able to bring a competitive, domestic, and most importantly, safe car into the foreign market.